Let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
If you could have grown up with more money or more love,
Yes.
which one would you pick?
More money for sure.
Yeah.
Us guys have enough love.
So you think you've grown your talent? It wasn't innate.
I don't think it was there.
Yeah.
I used to sing in church and people will tell me, Wimba pole pole. Don't be too loud. Don't be too loud. I'm those people who just get tired of waiting for opportunities. I was like, no, I'm going to show people who I am. I'm just going to do it. If it fails, we try again. If it goes, it helped us, Bro, I did 3 things that year. 2021. I did them. Nilikuwa circuit, bro. People thought I was making tunes because I was making sure I dress well. On stage, I'm looking the part. But at home, as we are living with my band, we are stragglers, bro.
What would be success for you financially, looking through the future?
Just feel Bufungu Stadium in Kakamega. Wacha niwaambie. Nataka kukuwe na migration kutoka Nairobi.
Welcome to another episode of Financially Incorrect. I am your host, Barak. And as usual, this is a place where we have serious financial conversations, but in a cheeky way, trying to learn from people's journeys, people's money journeys, see which industries are making the most money, which ones are not, and the different investments that people take in. As usual, this conversation is proudly sponsored and brought to you by FXPesa, who are coming to Tanzania very, very soon. So if you're in Tanzania, first of all, if you want to talk about your money journey or your money story or know someone who would be interesting for the podcast, please give us their contact or reference us. You can DM us, email us, or put their names in the link and we'll reach out to them. But more importantly, all the services that FXPesa provides in Kenya and Uganda right now, coming soon to Tanzania, including classes, including the trading platform. So look out for that. Today, the guest that I have has been a revolutionist recently and has had a fantastic album, which I've listened to 3 times.
Thank you, man.
And also has had a fantastic concert in Kenya. 1,700 people on Ngong Road with other people on the door trying to get in. He had bras thrown at him on stage.
Yeah, crazy business.
Charisma, welcome
Thank
to Financially
you so
Correct.
much. First of all, let me just say that intro you've done, me had bite my tongue like 100 times.
Yeah.
Can never speak like that's amazing. Shout out to you, man.
Thank you. And you heard me say I'm struggling with this intro.
You're those people who lie. Oh, it's going to be difficult. And then they get A's. I hate
Never been.
This is my worst part, and then goes ahead to kill it. What is this?
Yeah,
Thank
welcome.
Thank you for having
You've just come back from somewhere, have you not?
Yeah. Yeah. Just landed. Yeah, so I just got back from Malaysia. I was on a trip for my birthday. Yeah, this year I just said I wanted to be away and just enjoy life and go partying where people don't know me so that I can just wild.
How was that?
Wild I did.
Yeah. It was a wild...
Yeah, what happens in Malaysia
stays there.
in Malaysia.
It's a really beautiful country.
Yeah,
the only
really
place that one of the few places that I've enjoyed fish.
Yeah, oh really?
Yeah.
You don't enjoy fish?
No, so generally I don't.
Oh really?
I generally don't like fish. In fact, when we had Bradox here from Big Fish, we were talking about it, and he could not understand
and is it
how I come from.
Is it just seafood or
seafood in general? My wife has brought me on to sushi, and I don't even know if sushi is seafood. It's considered seafood in one way or another.
Bro, me I don't know. I just don't eat it.
It is, yeah. And then these things, calamari.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So the first time, okay, not the first time, but like my proper experience with seafood was literally the worst thing that could happen to anyone. So I was in Coast, and someone told me, "Gee, we're gonna have ceviche," and I was like, "Okay, cool." Bro, they brought me a plate with nyama that was dancing. This thing is like jello, bro.
Yeah.
I tried like a bite. You see how dogs go dig a hole and spit inside? That's exactly what I did, and I said, never again. Let me just be the traditional Luya man that I am. Eat my chicken, eat my ugali.
Yes.
I don't want these things. Vitu za ukoloni, staki.
What part of Western do you come from?
I come from Kakamega.
Kakamega?
Yes.
Mimi nimetoka Busia.
Hello.
Yeah.
Well,
technically the town is Nambale. It's like a couple of kilometers
from like
Busia.
Your proper Luya. They even said Nambale.
It's not the same.
Yeah. That's when you know that's a proper
It's the
Luya.
real, yeah.
Nambale.
But yeah, that's where I come from.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's good. Tunafaa tutafutane huko.
Somewhere,
Nairobi.
somewhere
In
along
Western, when you order a chicken, they give even the feet and the head. Like you're given every part of your chicken. Yeah.
as
Otherwise, it's
other
beef.
people here are surprised,
Yeah,
but
it's like,
fine.
what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
Head, feet? Yeah.
Anyway, let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
So my first question:
Yes.
if you could look back at your life, right, and if you could have grown up with more money or more love, which one would you pick?
More money or more love?
Yes.
Okay, so
In
based
your
on my
household.
situation, that
Yes.
more money for sure.
Yeah.
Us guys have enough love. We
Yeah.
want money. What
Yeah.
the hell? Even my parents would want more money.
Yeah.
Yeah, more money for sure. My parents were very. I think I've grown up in a house where my parents have been there for us and have loved us in an amazing way. So the thing that would add value to our lives in a very disproportionate way from where we were is money for sure. More love would just be weird. Now, what am I getting more than what they're getting? Us? You know, and then love without money also. It's not.
It
So
doesn't.
they love me, but they can't buy me. Yeah, just more money. Yeah.
Do you think, with that perspective that you have now, right? You get kids, your future kin. Do you think it would be fair for them to hold it against you if you aren't able to give them more money?
You know what? So I don't think it would be fair, but I wouldn't have a problem with them thinking, I wish we had more money. Because sometimes it's just a thing that happens to people. Sometimes you dream about, like, I wish we had this and this and this. But the thing for me is I think I want to strive to give my kids the things I don't have. And the worst thing about it is, or rather I didn't have, the worst thing about it is you could do that and give them more, significantly more than what you had, and still for them it wouldn't be enough. You know, so I don't know at what point that becomes enough for them. So I wouldn't hold it against them because it'll be a different time, different place, different environment for them. So I don't know. Yeah, whatever they'd like to feel. Wajue mi ndo niko.
Kuna kwingine.
Unfortunately,
Okay.
yeah.
So what was growing up like? What was the environment?
Yeah, so I grew up in a very staunch Christian home. My dad is a pastor. So you can imagine these brass situations are not great in our household.
Yes.
They're
on the WhatsApp group.
They're not a trending
Yes,
topic.
yes.
They're not my dad's favorite topic. Yeah. But I grew up in a very Christian household. Christian to the point that even as a secular musician, I'd never, listen guys, I never listened to secular music growing up. Like in our house, it was called, we used to call it bad manners. So like, you know, the beat would be playing and there's those songs, and us in our house is like, Toa bad manners, because you know there's half naked girls.
Yes.
And you know how hip hop, especially in the 2000s, was like, it was just money, women, and whatever. So we grew up to music like Ron Kenoli, Don Moen, and those kind of guys, and that's the type, and Makoma. So that's the music I knew growing up. We were in a household where our parents loved us immensely. Despite the fact that we didn't have everything, the one thing we could count on is their love, you know. And even when they weren't able to get us some of the things we wanted, we knew it wasn't because our walikuwa nakataa. It was like we're just not able to completely, you know. But my parents broke their backs to give us like the best that they could give us in terms of education, in terms of like even just basic things like, you know, toys and games and all those kind of things. So I've grown up very content because I saw my parents do punch beyond above their weight, you know, and it was very present for me. I'm the firstborn in our house, so it was very present because I saw the progression from when I was born, where we lived, up to where we got to.
Where did you guys live? Where were you born when you lived?
I grew up. So I was born. I think when I was born, we were living somewhere in Buruburu, but then predominantly we stayed in Umoja. And I just saw my parents work up and up and up and up and. Yeah, so I'm really grateful for them because I think I think one of the biggest desires for my folks has always been to give us an amazing life. You know, my parents would rather not have and for us to have. So that for me has resonated with me all through my life. Yeah.
So how many other siblings do you
I
have?
have one other sibling and he looks just like me. Like I could tell you I'm going to the washroom and he comes back and continues and you would not know the difference.
Dreadlocks, everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Watoto wa pasta.
Yeah. What was your growing up? What would you say was the lowest financial moment for you guys that you can consciously remember?
See, the thing is, and that's why I want to take it back to my folks. Yeah, they never made us feel like, even when possibly there was those moments and they suffered, they cushioned us. They never allowed us to see or feel those things. You know, and that's why I'm very grateful for them. And I tell people, like, if I was given a chance to choose any other parents in the world, I would never choose anyone but my parents, because I know they struggled. I know we struggled. I know we had tough financial times, but we never felt it. Like my brother and I never felt it. Us guys, it was just, our life was the same start to end, like, so start to up to where we are right now. My parents never, my parents suffered, but we didn't. So I can't even pinpoint a point in time where like this happened, Yeah.
What about financial highs, like as a
Financial
family?
highs.
Yeah.
Okay, so the thing about growing up, so when our family was still young, so that means when I was young, when my brother was young, my mom was young, when they were starting to move through the ranks, and that time, it's not like now. So now for my folks, I think that they're focused on things like building, starting businesses. So they put a lot of money in a lot of different things. So I couldn't float for real. Like, I just thought I could cover before, but I couldn't float.
Hakuna cash
doing
flow.
and two every other thing apart from us. Yeah, but to be fair, I don't want anything from them now. Want me do what they needed to do. But yeah, so at that point, I remember we just all of a sudden started to go to Kina Village Market. You remember the two slides at Village Market? All of a sudden we're sliding in the pools, we're going to amusement parks. Whereas kitambo tulikuwa tunapelekwa town kula chips na kuku Sanford.
Bus.
Now our lives have changed. Hata nakula chicken in, kenchik. Ilikuwa kenchiks. No.
Kenchik.
Yeah, we're eating kenchik. So at that point it felt like, yeah. And then we moved from Umo and came to Ngong Road. You know what, let me tell you guys. Guys think Islando is Islando. Bro, back in the day, Islando was proper Islando. When you move from Islando to Ngong Road, the difference is like you're in two different countries. So those things just made me feel different. And then I was in a school in Kayole. All of a sudden, I'm in a school in Karen. So, and then the place where I was in school, the entrance, so you make a katan and start going into the school. There are trees that just formed together in Shikanad. Like, you're just not in a regular place.
Yeah.
Where's the safara tena? Unateseka but sio sana. Yeah, but so yeah, that felt like
Yeah.
Yeah,
what would you say was like, because I know you've drawn like a very stark difference
Yeah.
between, say, moving from Umo,
Yeah.
moving to Ngong
Yeah.
Road. Like, what would you say made it clear for you that these are like two different lives?
Bro, just genuinely how people lived where we were living in Umo and where we were living in
On Ngong Road
sites for
now,
Karen. Like, even the size of the houses. Bro, Umo manze kuna time ulikuwa tunakosa maji for long manze. Hadi watu wetu tulikuwa tumeanza kuunga. Young people, small boys, we have muscles, we've bebad mtungis up 6 floors. And then those things just disappear where we move to. Like, hardship reduced. I think that's the thing I'd say. Hardship reduced, and then we had a field. Because in Umo, there were no fields. And even now, you go to Umo, like, it's just apartments and apartments and apartments. And even the fields that we had, it was those, ni kama uko kwa Maram Road. Ni kama unacheza kwa Maram, manze. Unaget, and then the Mbao goalpost, all of a sudden, we've gone to a place where there's a bunch of fields for kids, and it's like it's designated, this is a place for kids playing, and that felt really dope. I remember when I was young, because we moved from Umo in 2003, my parents never used to allow us to go out, just because Umo was a bit dangerous. I mean, Umo is great, but it was dangerous, and then the people there, like, there's a lot of, you can get influenced badly easily, like there's drugs all over the place and stuff like that. But then where we stayed, like, my folks would, like, I remember my mom would, like, start calling for us at, like, 8 p.m. Whereas
Like, where
before
these
it
guys?
was like, Mnenda, you play for 1 hour, you come back to the house, and you go with auntie, Sawa. So it was there was a big difference.
Yeah.
Like, they were allowing us to be outside, to socialize. So that was a very big difference for us, yeah.
When do you start dealing with money consciously, like yourself, whether it's pocket money or anything of that nature?
I think I'd say in high school. So I went to Nairobi school. Actually, no. I was because I went to boarding in primary school. Did we used to have a canteen? I can't remember. Let me just say high school. I can't remember the situation in primary because it feels like such a long time ago. Missy Gen Z, guys. Nakwanga tu Gen Z kwa maandamano. Otherwise, yeah. But I think where I dealt with money properly was probably in high school. So I went to 844, so we were in school for like 3 months. Yeah, now we put your pocket money, and I remember the first time was difficult because that the excitement of just having chums. Yeah, So I went to the canteen, or rather I go to the canteen and I spend all my money.
All.
Yeah, by week 2, I'm broke. Now I'm a guy for dining hall. I can't miss any meal. Like nothing. There's nothing that's going to make me miss any meal. So I think after I just started to learn, like, okay, so I'll need to plan this money. I have to have money for today, for tomorrow, for the next day. And then this money is meant to go a whole month before I see my folks again. So then you start to learn how to budget. And it's not easy. It's not easy when you're young and you want that smoky every time. But you have to realize, okay, so I can eat all the smokies now, but tomorrow I won't have
nothing
a smoky.
left,
And it wasn't a lot of money because my folks used to give me like, if it's a month, like a G. And a G ilikuwa saa zile mzaya amenipatia 500 and then mom is like,
here's another.
Because my dad is like, what the hell are you doing with all that money? You're getting lunch, you're getting breakfast, they're feeding you don't, and we've left you with already some shopping. So so I started to learn how to balance my money. I think I still wasn't great at it because most of the times by the third week I was,
You're finished.
Yeah. Tax shop, now it's a thing I just pass.
Yeah.
I just pass it, Yeah, but I think that was the first encounter with like trying to plan money and budget and all that stuff. Yeah.
How did you decide to go to law school, or what happens and you go to law school?
First of all, I just talk a lot. Yeah. And I have a talent for talking. That's number one. And then and to be fair, those law flicks are lies. If there's something I wish I never watched, is Suits. Suits makes being a lawyer so cool. Like you just walk in and you bully everyone and you're like, I'm subpoenaing you or where and in Suits every case is settled.
Yes.
They don't go to court.
Don't go to court.
No one ever goes to court and they just look, bruh.
Good suits.
Law is nothing like Suits.
Yeah.
Kwanza ukiwa junior ni kukatwa tu na ma-files. But so there was that. I felt like I had that, and I'm a person who loves to debate and just read on things and go pick people's brains about it. But one of the things I knew from Form 1 that's the career I was gonna go with. But I remember in Form 2 I got suspended for something I hadn't done.
For something you hadn't done.
Yeah.
What happened?
Okay, maybe I had done a bit, but not everything. Like they treated me like the main culprit. Okay. Like I was the main culprit of this thing, and I wasn't. So, that's
the story.
So there's some guys who are brewing alcohol in school.
Brewing alcohol in school. Okay.
Yeah. I just want to say, I was a conduit. Like me, I was the Form 1 who was used. And I remember, so when guys were shikwa, so in the Form 1 group, I was the one who was being used to sell to people. So we were shikwa, and this Form 4s snitched on me. In fact, they made it seem like I'm the one who cooks this thing. First of all, I don't even know enough chemistry, bro. I don't even know how titration works.
Yeah.
What can I say to you? So I got suspended. And when I went back, I remember they wanted to expel me. And my dad got a lawyer to come to school with me. When we were going back, because it was a whole situation. It's like, no, we're not going to leave you. We understand you're young, you made a mistake, but they can't make you, they can't make you the fall guy, So I remember we were in the office, and these teachers, you know how high school teachers are just a lot. Yeah, so the teacher was being a lot and just being and I'm a small dude. The thing I always say is, like, sometimes these guys act like we're 50-year-olds in high school.
With all the wisdom and all the knowledge.
I'm 14 years old that time. You're coming down on me like my life is about to end because of this one mistake I made there. But I remember this lawyer completely destroyed the teachers in that office. And I remember we left the office and I was just told by my dad, okay, go back to class. I was like, this is who I want to be when I grow up. This is what I want to do. I want to fight for every child who's been suspended,
Right.
But it was really cool. And I watched it and I was like, I'd like to be this kind of person for people. So that's why I decided I wanted to be a lawyer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you end up at Parklands, University of Nairobi.
Yeah.
What's your life like what's your life like at that point? Are you living at home? Do you go and you're staying at the hostels?
So I'd been in boarding school from like class 5. So of course Nairobi school is also a boarding school.
Yes.
Yeah. So when I went to uni, it was very weird because my folks were like, you can just commute. But I wasn't used to
this thing of living at home.
Of being at home with my folks. That and then it just felt like a lot of work because we used to live on Ngong Road and Paki. So, and then, there's lecturers in Paki who are just kichwangumu. Yeah. And if the class starts at 8, if you're not there at 8, he's locked the door. That guy called Kiptines.
He's now the chief, the chief technology officer or chief commercial officer at Safaricom. Yes.
Brilliant.
And he had a bike as well.
Bro, let me tell you, Kiptines was the coolest, still the worst guy.
He was.
Like, when you see him without him opening his mouth, he's the coolest. The guy comes in school with a big-ass motorbike. But anyway, yeah. So that whole concept of living at home was difficult. So I did it for a bit, but then I told my folks, man, I can't do this. And I remember I went to live in the hostels. That freedom so being in boarding school is one thing. And then there's now...
As an adult.
Yeah, living alone. And now it's like, okay, so you had money, back to the thing you were saying. So you see how you spend money in school, at least you finish your money, there's still meals. Buda huku unamaliza pesa, ni kulala njaa. Ama una survive on noodles.
Yeah.
Na acha niwaambie, noodles nayo, hizo vitu mimi nikikula even 4 at 8, midnight I'm eating again. I promise. Like, staying in Campo humbled me. That one forces you to almost learn how to use money. Because it's like, bro, if you don't have if you finish the chums, it's not that there's a DH you're going to go and eat. No, Jamanze, UN has the mess where there's food for 20. So imagine being broke to the point that you can't afford a meal for 30 bob tops. My guy. Unajifunza kusave. Yeah. So Paki was a crazy experience, just in the sense that, like, yeah, I had been out of my folks' place, living in school, but now all of a sudden nikujitegemea. And then my parents start to pull back a bit, like, in terms of, like, financial support, because now I'm a grown up. Like, it's not like before where my money would end and I'd be like, Mom, I don't have any. Now I'm an adult. You're 21, 22. How are you calling your mom crying that you don't have money? You know.
So do you start looking for money?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you start doing to get money? Yeah.
The good thing for me, so my music career started early. So I started music with a group called The Band.
Yes.
And that helped me with making money here and there. Because we used to do shows, but that's when pesa ilikuwa ujinga.
How much were they paying you for the shows?
Let me tell you, first of all, when they paid us, it was like, wow, we're being paid for our talents. Because us guys, so we started doing music in 2014. Interestingly, so I always tell guys the best bit about my career is I did them at the same time. So even when I was choosing what I wanted to do, I was very sure I want to go with music. So I went into law school September of 2013, started doing music. The first song I actually released was 2014, July. So us guys are doing our thing. Most of the time we're doing free gigs. Because nobody knows us. You know, this thing, and I always tell guys it's a business. Most musicians don't understand that it's business. Oh, why aren't you paying us, Nini? You know, you can't be paid if you're not bringing value. You know, there has to be some value you're bringing to the table. So we were doing a bunch of free gigs, and the reason was we were trying to get our names out there. So by this time in 2014, I'm still in my folks' place. So I'm a bit cushioned. So yes, I'm doing free gigs, but I don't have issues like at the rent. I don't have to take care of Stima or whatever.
Right.
But now, us guys started getting paid here and there. And when I say paid, remember this is 2015, guys.
Yes.
Us guys are 8 in the group.
8?
Yeah. We had those dreams of Kina Linkin Park. You know, the bands that normally have a bunch of people, our drama, you know. We're being paid 5 Gs. This 5 Gs, first of all, you're fighting these people to give you your 5 Gs. Hey, Mnaenda, you sit down, you do 5 divided by 8. It's like, wow. Okay, great. So we even divide by 9. Tunasema hii moja itakuwa drink. So, there's one member of the band called Shere.
Yes.
You know, so 5 divided by 9, and we do the 9 is now we buy. And you can imagine, if we're doing 5 by 9, you can imagine the botis we're drinking. Changa tupu. And we're not buying one, so we're buying like 3 of them. So you can imagine that budget is for 3 botis. Because how are 8 guys going to do You get the math. So
Yeah.
tunichanga, yani vitu tunatumia ni mbaya.
Yeah.
And then you go home with your like 6 sock or whatever, and that feels like a lot of money because you're taking a jar from Tao, 20 bob, nini. Now all of a sudden you're telling your girl, hey, let's go for Wacky Wednesday. Then the steers, kula baga ama mawimpi. Yani, yeah, life was simple, but yeah, those two money started helping, and then I started doing 2 internships. So especially during holidays, I'd do internships and go to law firms and just, I know nothing, but my work is to carry files. So Uhuru Park to, Tao through Uhuru Park to Milimani Locals, I'm just carrying files there. Yeah, I'm holding brief for the Nini. I go there, I tell them, my counsel is not here. Can you hold brief for us? I give them the file, they do it for us. Like, and then it was just small chums, but it was, at that point I was like, yeah, at least I'm doing something.
Yeah.
So that's how I started making money initially.
When do you turn your back on law?
When I finished.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nilimaliza nikasema, nope.
But it's a decision you had made beforehand.
Yeah. So I knew I was gonna, like, I even talked to my folks. My mom went through all the stages of grief. Yani, she couldn't believe someone can choose to be a musician in this country. Like, all the musicians I know die poor.
Yes.
Yeah. You know how you see creatives, actors, musicians, all of them are just suffering or that they have pay bills.
Yeah.
So that was it for my mom.
Yeah.
But I told them and I finished and I was like, yeah, so me, I've decided I want to do this thing. So I finished my law school and I decided, and I'm telling you, my career was so wild. So I finished my law school in 2016. 2016, so the next year, 2017, we released a song with Le Band, number 1. Mind you, my folks and I have been fighting about this decision because, first of all, the music we're putting out, I'm getting like 400 views. And that's because my dad and my mom and my bro are watching. Like, and Nawaluya, us guys are many. So it's just the clan. The clan is watching my music.
Right,
no one else. The comments are all names we know. Luya names there,
Right.
So my folks are like, this, it doesn't make sense. But then we put out number 1, I think January 31st of 2017. That's like 1 month after I finished law school, and that song blows up. And it's almost validation. It's like my folks are like, okay, maybe this thing is making sense.
What do you think made that song blow up and the others?
We've thought about it. Like, me, I don't. Sometimes I even say God, because with this song, so when we recorded this song 9 months before it came out, and it had so much drama. Like the producer Cheza Das, the videographer was slow. Like, just those projects that just have so much crap going about them. And I remember when in December, so the boys were like, this song is dope. I feel like we should shoot a video for it. And I played the song for a boy of mine, and he's like, my guy, this is the song that's gonna take you to the next level. And he was serious, but that's what he had said with every other song I played for him. So I'm like, bro, I don't even know.
Yeah.
you know how your boys just tell you, hey,
just gas you up. Yeah.
So I couldn't believe anyone. So my boys come, my fellow bandmates, they're like, we should shoot a video. And I've written this song, but I've lost all hope. Like, I don't believe in anything. We've done this thing so many times, nothing has worked. What makes you think this one will work?
Yeah.
And for me, it was just making, when you make a business decision, sometimes you can't just be emotional. You have to think like critically and be realistic with the situation. Okay, so we've done this and this, na imekata. Nini tafanya hii kwa different. So we went and they told me, okay, so this is what we want to do. So we've been spending tunes on videos that have been bombing. Now you want to even spend even more money, like 5 times the amount we've ever spent on a video. So they said the budget was 120K. And I told these guys, wait, have you checked your YouTube views? You want to spend 120 Gs on a video, so each of us is chucking for 40K.
Yeah.
I said, no, it's not happening. What can it bembeleza? And I remember I told them, if this song doesn't work, this is the end for me. Like, after this one, I'm going, shaving my dreads, law firm straight.
Yeah.
Let me just go labor. Because I was like, my life also, you see, when we were hustling when we were younger, it was easy because we were cushioned by our parents. But now we're getting to a point where I have to take responsibility. I have to do things on my own. So That was it. And we went, and I remember, bro, we went to church and prayed that Sunday before the release.
Before the song goes.
Tulikuwa tumeshikana mikono Nairobi Baptist Church after service tunaomba.
Yeah.
Telling God, we've spent 120K. This money, I've asked my parents for a loan. It better come back, damn it. And that song just blew up. I think also the people around us really helped us amplify that song. Like people really shared the song. And it was also, I also believe it was a good time for us. Like it was just the right time for us. It was luck also. Hakuna mse alikuwa amerelease ngoma hiyo time. Our song just became the #1 trending song on YouTube with like, was it 40,000 views? These days, a song becomes #1 on YouTube
millions.
with millions of views. So like, you see, it just worked out.
Yeah.
And the song just blew and it changed everything for me since. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So financially, what was the return on that song? You saying you wanted the 40K
that song
back?
made us money.
Yeah.
I can't lie. #1 made us money. In 2017, I don't think there was an artist who was booked more than us. Because you see, there was 3 groups. There was Sauti Sol, there was Heart the Band, and there was La Band. Now, who was the cheapest option?
It's you guys.
If you can't afford Sauti Sol,
because
no one was affording Sauti Sol, you can't afford Sauti Sol, can't afford Heart the Band. Who's the next best thing?
Yeah.
The band. We did shows. And I remember, so the difference was so massive. We're coming from a point where we were fighting with people to just give us transport. And all of a sudden, someone calls us and is like, so we want to pay you. We have a budget for 100K. We just want you to perform one song. Like, what? One song? And then you have to pretend like, it's below what we wanted, but okay, fine. Because you also want to be careful or say, okay, if it's not for you, then please. We're coming. Yeah, so it just started being crazy. And we started performing at crazy stages. I remember that year we performed with on the same stage, or just around that time, the same stage as Omarion, Diamond, Sauti Sol. Like we start calligraph.
And do you guys have a rate at this time, or you're taking whatever guys are
bro,
giving
let
you?
me tell you, we don't even know how. In fact, this guy is telling us they're paying us this money was surprising us because we weren't believing people are being paid that kind of money. Because even if us guys were to put our own rate card, ingekuwa ka 20, 30K. Msana anakuambia, we'll pay you 100K. Like, Okay. Meaning I can get more.
Yeah.
So we start talking to other artists and they're like, no, you guys should be quoting like 150. We don't even have a rate card.
Yes.
So people just call us, flat rate 150. And they say yes. And then we realize, everyone is saying yes to this 150. Maybe So it was like we didn't know anything. We were so green. And that's the one thing. And that's why for me right now in the industry, I'm very big on speaking to guys coming up. Because I think it's important for them to know what the rates are like and what the industry is like. Because it's really shaftiwa. We were shafted badly because we knew nothing. Yeah, but that year we made good money. And the problem, and I always admit, we were young and we were making solid tunes. The other boys, Ken was still in mechatronics school, Joel was in med school still. So hype ya madem ilikuwa real. We have a massive song. We're making money. We're on TV. We wasted our money on women.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
As a fellow man.
Yes. Yes.
When you say wasted your money on women, what does that mean? What does wasting your money on women mean?
God, we don't even know.
Yes.
So like we go for an event, we've performed. And I used to say, I wish this guy's never paid us immediately after the show. Kwanza club appearance. I used to tell these guys it's unfair because you're paying me and then I'm using all my money to buy booties in your club.
Yeah.
So we'd go, we've performed, random babes just come. We spend money on booties on them and then we pay for their cabs. Due to nawapeleka wapi the next day. These girls are girls we never see again in our lives. Sa hizo pesa yetu imeenda yote. So we're not saving anything.
Yeah.
You know, it gets to the time we want to shoot a music video, all of a sudden we need to do another gig in order to afford a music video. Because we're so financially illiterate, bro. Like we're making money, but we don't know how to save money.
Yeah.
We don't know how to plan for our tunes. You know, and also we're excited, you know, because it's a fast life. The music, the entertainment industry is so fast. Like it can sweep you, you know.
Yeah.
So that was what was happening in our lives. And even girls call us, they're like, oh, send me this money. Because you're like, oh, jamani, mimi celeb, lazima ni. And saizo hata wewe hauna pesa yani. You're even sending money you don't have.
Question, yeah? Just to give us a context of how booked you guys were. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you give us an average of what your calendar looked like in a month?
We were I think in 2017 we were doing around 6 or 7 shows a month. So that's every weekend.
Every weekend you're booked.
We're booked 1 or 2 shows. And that was a lot, especially at that time for artists who are doing live music, because that's just when live music was becoming a thing in the country. So South Soul were doing it, Heart were doing it, but literally no one else in the mainstream industry was doing it, and it was really just growing. So us guys were being booked left, right, and center, and that's minus the club appearances that we do like on Wednesdays or Thursdays here and there. So we were getting booked a lot. I remember at the end of that day I sat down and I was looking at my account and I was so broke, and I was like, I've made so much money, why don't I have money? I can't do anything. My mom is like, she was saying throughout the year, hey, now you're doing so many shows. Even when you go to Coast, you're the one who should be paying for the room. I'm just like, I could pay for maybe a meal.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and how, okay, so you've talked about, I guess, the money you're making, the entertainment lifestyle around the shows and things like that. But how are you living at home right now? Have you moved out of the home?
No.
Yeah, you're still at home.
So we're making this, and that's the ridiculous part about it. So we're making this money. We're not paying rent when we don't have responsibilities, basically. But we don't have money.
Yeah.
When I think about it now, I'm like, oh boy, I was such a dumb child.
Yeah.
Right now, in hindsight, I'm like, that was really dumb, but then it was like,
it is what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
So when do you come to, or when do you begin to think about leaving the band?
Okay. So in 2018, in December, man, I've never even shared this story. I hope my boys, I think we're past it, so I don't think people will feel bad about it. It's just the truth. We're grown-ups. We've made mistakes, and So in 2018, we get this job from, I think, the South African embassy, and it's paying us a shit ton. I remember, so we were called to a meeting. These guys didn't ask us for our quote. They called us into a meeting. Proper boardroom was seated around the table. So the boys, we've pangaed ourselves this side, those guys are on the other side. And then they don't ask us for a rate card. They tell us we have a budget of $1 million. Bro, my legs started shaking under the table. Like I could hear the table. I'm like, Parker, I wanted to ask, what are you paying us to do? It's just singing. You guys might want us for other things. You better tell me now. I'm not saying no, but prepare me.
Just tell me so I'm ready.
Ain't no way you guys want to pay me $1 million, Bob.
Yeah.
And you could see and our manager couldn't speak also.
Even the
all
manager.
Of us were out of breath. Listen, that time our rate card is like 200 to 50K. These guys they've not even warned us. They sent an email. And it's just been angushwad. Pap. One mic. And then they say, so I had a sound business. Yeah. They say, you have a sound business? We're willing to add 200K. You bring your own sound. I'm like, 1.2 mic and 200 is just mine? Size sound in Wanataka is sound for like 30K. I remember, so our manager says, we can work with that. I'm just there like, work. Even my dad is not being paid like this, bro. What the hell do you mean?
Yeah.
So we get out of the office. So like we just walk out of the door and we're pretending. Me, my knees are weak. I want to tell you guys, like I was even struggling I feel like I was looking bow-legged. Yeah. I was struggling. Yeah. We got into the lift. I thought I was the only one the guys just started screaming. Like this is 12th floor. Yeah. We figured 8th. People just started screaming in the lift. Yeah. So now the excitement is over after a while. So we do the gig and it's a problem. And I understand, guys, the worst thing about corporate gigs, they have the least work, but they pay the most. Alafu hizi zingine no stress yote. Yeah. These are the ones that don't pay well are the most stressful ones. Yeah. So we do the gig, and I remember now the money discussions start to happen.
You're still 8 of you. Yes. Well, 9 now. Well,
no. So that time we had shared, we're 3 people. The 8th thing wasn't working. The math had refused.
The math had refused. Okay, so
we just realized you have to be a Sauti Sol and hire a band every time. Yeah. So we're 3 people. So there's a mic on the table, and I'm like, I feel like we should put half of this money back into the music, because first of all, we never get paid any of this amount it's not something us guys have ever received. So for me, it made sense. Like even 500K divided by us guys was still a lot of money for me, you know. And the boys are like, no, to gawane yo do equally. I'm like, what about the investing in the brand? This is the thing that's making us the money. So again, we'll divide the money amongst ourselves, Isha, and then we start crying again that we don't have money for our craft. And I felt like I was pushed to a wall to a point where I had to agree. And so and I hate saying this because it's not something that was in my mind before, but I started thinking like, I'm the lead vocalist of this group. I do most of the writing, the singing. But when it comes to decision making, I'm always I can be outvoted. And, you know, and I never had a problem with sharing equally. Because for me, I never thought that I'm doing more than the other person. But for me, when it started to feel like people are not thinking about the brand, that became an issue for me. Because my dream was always like a Grammy, like to take our music so far. And I felt we had so much potential, but I felt like the fame and the fast life, the women, the money was consuming people, and they were not thinking about the best interest of the business as much. And now at that time, one of my bandmates had gotten another job. And now it hit me at that point that this was a side job for him. It was a side gig. So I was putting 100 into this gig. He wasn't putting 100. So I remember there's a time we even went and did a show, and he didn't come because he was working at his other show. And I realized, listen, we're not, this thing is not, we're not in the same, on the same wavelength with this thing. And that's when it hit me like, we have practice. There's a time I went for like 3 months. So us guys used to practice every week with our band, like twice a week, and be in studio at times. And I was in studio at practice for 3 months on my own. And I remember that our drummer, his name was Larry, I remember very well. He said to me, and some guy called, and our bassist, his name was Dan. His name is Dan. He said, should just become a solo artist, because what is this you're doing? You're literally the only one
who's here.
Always here. And my other bandmate is now making money, so he's comfortable. And even when we meet, the convos, it feels like, I don't want to say he was doing it intentionally, but it felt like he was looking down on us. Like, you are saying, you know. So I made a decision. I remember I just wrote to the group and I was like, I feel like it's my time to walk out. I can't be in the group anymore. I've done what I feel I could do with this group. This group was amazing for as long as we've had it, but I think it's accomplished what it was meant to be. And I told them, I hope, please, no one should call me to try and get me back, because this is something I've thought about for a very long time. I talked to my dad, I talked to my mom. It's a conversation I had with people for like 2 months. My girlfriend then, at that time. And it was difficult because even for my folks, it was like, man, umetoka law school, umepata kitu ina work. So again, you want to leave? And my mom was just like, I can't believe you. Again, you want to start from zero. And truly, I was going to start from zero because I wasn't living Saudi, so like the way Bian did. His name was massive. So I was living Leban. People know Leban. Nobody knows the individuals from the band. So I'm starting from zero. But so I decided to leave then because I felt like we had plateaued and we had reached a ceiling.
What was the time gap between when you start thinking about between when you have this money sort of discussion and when you leave? How long does it take you?
It took like 3 months. 3 months.
Okay.
Because for me it was just like, if this is where we're at now, I don't think it gets better.
It gets better than this. Yeah.
And to be fair, there had been instances before that just for me were like, no. We're never gonna get where we're meant to be with this mindset that we have right now.
Okay.
And you could tell a lot of people were coming, even artists, and passing us, not because they had more talent than us or anything. It's just how they applied themselves to their job and
their craft.
How they handled their business. You know?
So taking you back to a beginning point, when did you learn and understand that you're a talented musician?
I think in 2000 I started singing after high school. I used to play rugby, so when I finished school, I knew I was going to play high school and professional rugby. So, you know, the tryouts you get. So in Patch, I played for our team for all the years I was there. So I go out and reality hits
me. Where were the tryouts?
Mwamba. Let me tell you.
That's a hard club.
I went into I remember I went to the field I saw these human beings. Have you ever looked at people and just been like, hey, no way. Yeah, there's nothing that my body is going to do to get here. And even the people I'm trying out with, bro, I'm like, how we were beating you in school. How were we beating you? Look at you. You know, and I used to play, so I used to play the park positions, the big man positions, and I wasn't a big person. So it didn't make sense because I could run, but I wasn't as fast as most other people. So I couldn't play the line positions, I couldn't play the park positions. So like it hit me very early. Like, not to reality, this is not for me. And it's, I'm not a quitter, but it's one of the things that I quit because it's just, bro, unaenda huko Innocent Simiyu anatoshana na ng'ombe. For real. A cow. The man is a mountain.
Yeah.
Ama you see someone like Hayangi, what the hell?
Yeah.
He's just 6'3", 6'4", and he's massive. I'm like, there's nothing is going to happen to my body.
That will get you there. Yeah.
You know, so I was just like, yeah, this really is not for you.
Yeah.
So I went to church and I remember we were doing, there's a concert we had, I don't know if it's still there. It used to be at Nairobi Baptist called Light Concert. So I was the main director for the concert and I was directing a drama. So I used to act. That's the thing I did for the most part. And that's how I met someone like Pascal who was on my video for number 1 in the band. That's our relationship basically as an actor. So I'm doing, I'm the head director, so I'm in all departments. Now, I go to the music department and the music guys are like, man, the dudes don't want to sing. You know how young boys are like, singing is for girls.
Yeah.
So they're like, you know, these kids look up to you. Just come and sing. If they see you there, they'll start, they'll join. So these guys, instead of just making it, I sing in at the back, that they give me a verse. So because I'm singing, all the dudes want to see, hey, they're singing. So they come and they join and people, and then guys are like, actually, you're not that bad. But I was really crap, to be honest. Even the videos, I would never share them. That one is on the raw. Yeah, but I sang, I just sang, let's say. So I sang, and I remember, so now the guys I was with in the band used to have a group, a gospel group. The name was so dumb. Walikuwa wanajiita Singers of Christian Songs, Socks. Socks. But girls loved them because they used to do a cappella. Kwanza Ken alikuwa anaimbanga bass. And I hated Ken so much because girls have been katiaing all my life.
Well, pay attention to it.
This guy has never spoken to them.
Yeah.
He sings 1 second and the girls love him. I've been talking to this girl for years. She's never looked my way. This man has just done. I'm like, singing is not even cool. It's just blowing air outside. You know, so I started practicing with them, and slowly, that's just literally how my talent grew as a musician.
So you think you've grown your talent? It wasn't innate?
I don't think it was there.
Yeah.
I used to sing in church and people will tell me, Wimba pole pole. Don't be too loud. Don't be too loud. Yeah, don't sing too loudly. You're not that great. Yeah. So like, you can imagine if people are telling you to keep quiet in church.
Yeah.
Where everyone is singing badly and you're being told, volume.
Yeah. So what do you think allowed you to become, to get to the point where you could be a lead vocalist of the band?
Generally it's just great. So at some point with the band, they sat me down for a meeting. Your band by the way walinitesa. Nyo saying you are toxic. As alinikalisha meeting wakaniambia, Fidel, you know we love you. But we might have to release you from the band because we feel like you're not doing enough, and you need to improve more. Because my voice used to potea. You know the thing about this thing is, I'm struggling to become a singer, so I'm pushing my vocals a lot. So I used to like when I sing for 20 minutes, I can't even speak. I'm like, mid set, someone has to take my lines. So basically, I was threatened by being kicked out of the band, and I started doing vocal practices. YouTube, I just do those weird things. Some of them I didn't even know how they impact singing. Voice coaches are telling me to do. I'm like, how does it? And kumbe, it's opening here. So me, I'm so green as a musician. So I just practiced and got to a point where we're doing verses. They're like, Fidel, sing. Cut is my imba. And then all of a sudden before we're doing a 1 hour set, I have like 3 or 2 verses. Now I have 10 verses. It feels like I'm even singing the whole song. They're doing harmonies for me. I'm like, oh wow, you've worked. Yeah, so it's literally just grinding it out.
Interesting.
Honestly.
I didn't know that. I didn't. I'm amused at the fact that you can actually develop and grow a singing voice. I guess.
Yeah, I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a bad singer.
So then, okay, let's go back to the other story. So because you had talked about a sound business. So where did the sound business come from?
Yeah, so with this money, so when the guy said we divide the money
Yeah.
3 ways, so for me, I was like, man, I need to start thinking about how my money can multiply itself. Yeah. So first thing I did, because I had made a decision, even before I told them, I had already made my decision to leave the group. So I go to studio and shoot I do a song, Unavyonipenda with Mbidi, which is my first ever solo song. And I shoot a music video for it. So that's part of the money used there. But then I have some money remaining, and I go to my folks and I'm like, Mom, Dad, I want to start a business. Would you guys like to be my partners? I want to start a sound business. I have a footing on this industry. I kind of know the ins and outs of these things. I know live people. So what I'll do is I won't charge them the premium they charge by everything, so that people gravitate towards my sound. And my parents are like, okay, cool. So we bring money together, the money I had gotten and some money that I had saved up, and we buy proper equipment. And that year, man, nabukiwa show na sound yangu ina hairia. It was I felt so good. Like me, I'm going here, my sound is there. Sometimes we meet, you know. But then the most difficult thing about it was, because my business model was to make it significant, not at just cheap, but significantly cheaper for them, so that people would gravitate towards our business. Sometimes I was them to Amkono. You know, so you'd find me at events
Setting up the sound.
Yeah, setting up. Events are done 6 a.m. We're there with speakers and drums, kunjaing. I'm sweating in the morning. So who was performing at that event? Me. Guys was screaming for me.
Sasa umeenda ukarudi.
Nimechange hadi nimevaa shorts na vest, twende kazi manze. But I think that's part of the sacrifice you have to do. Business is difficult, and I understand people are and that's why I tell guys who say I want to quit my job and do a business. I'm like, please think about this thing, because the security you have with your job is something you can't say. Business is difficult. Like, you never know the sacrifices you'll have to make, how many nights you have to stay hungry. But yeah, that's literally how my business started. Yeah.
So during that period, can you give us an average of how much you were making a month and what your living situation was when you're doubling up as a sound business person and a solo musician?
So you have to realize, at this time, I've started a whole solo career now. The one thing I did not anticipate is how low I was going to drop in the food chain after Lebanon.
Oh, in terms of being booked.
Brother, it's like I started again. I literally started again. That was the most humbling experience of my life. And it came with so much, because I remember at some point I became depressed. You know, when you're here and you've been going to gigs and people are treating you here, and then now all of a sudden you've gone back to you're not being paid for shows. You're doing things for free once again. So the only thing that's actually making any money is my sound business. Now, the agreement I have with my folks is I'm paying them back. So I'm literally not making any money, to be fair. So I'm working to pay back my parents. I'm working
for their contribution into the business.
To the business. You know, manze, it was a difficult time. This was in 2019, and then 2020 happens and COVID happens. So COVID, I did an EP. I had recorded an EP, and I was like, this is going to be my coming out party. Like, this is how charisma comes into the world. God said, oops, let me show you.
Yeah.
For I know the plans I have for you. But now me, it was plans to destroy me. They completely destroyed me. Bro, I released my album like this 2 weeks later. What's the thing dominating the news? COVID has entered Kenya. So I can't be booked for shows. I can't promote my music. I fall into depression. The business that was holding me down
cannot be booked either.
So that's a whole year. I want to tell you, guys, I'm about 10 months making no money. Now I was so depressed, I was sleeping in my bed.
And in your folks' house at this point?
Stoki kwa nyumba.
Dread is namea tu.
God damn it. Ni ukweli but ukisema hivyo. Yeah, and then you know, now you're in this position with folks who had told you, folks who had told you stick with this law career.
Yeah.
You refused. Yeah, man, that was the most terrible time of my life. Yeah, I contemplated everything. Suicide, like, every journey, I just
You couldn't
needed
see a way
an
out.
escape. Whatever it was. So escape was going to be either I earn money or whatever. But I contemplated everything. Suicide was one of the options. And I even tried it, bro.
You tried it.
I tried it 100%. I was tired, bro. It's one thing to suffer for a month, for 2 months. But when it extends to 10 months, 1 year, it became like I was done.
It was bad.
I was done. And then at some point, I just figured to a place. I was like, manze, Pia, I can't keep beating myself down like this. Nikarudi kwa hiyo loan litoroka. Nikaanza kudu kwa law firm fulani tena.
2021.
I was so miserable. I was so miserable. I remember I was going to the law firm at Asionge, like, and you know me, I'm a bubbly, loud person. I just go there, sit the whole day. The day ends, I go back home. These people in
And what were you doing at that time? An intern and
just
legal
an
assistant?
intern, bro. And me, imagine I'm just an intern. Because
So
I'm
you're
not going
interning,
to KSL.
how many years later?
Yeah.
Like 5 years later.
And I haven't gone to KSL, so I'm not even I'm not an advocate, So...
Lakini are they giving you any money at
Bro,
that
they're
point?
paying me 10 Gs. 10 Gs a month. So to be fair, this money was literally just transport. Because after everything, I remained with like, what's 2 Gs? You're 20, is it 24, 25 there? Or 20, I don't know. Yeah, but what's 2 Gs?
Yeah.
So I was depressed. And then because I've been inactive for a whole year, my music has not moved. I'm not being booked for shows. No one is booking, like literally nothing. My career is not moving.
Yeah.
Your time, demi yangu tukakosana. Like, let me tell you, hey, life chapa to me. Oh, it's like choke slam. And
Finished.
then after I'm on the floor, Chukwu say tombstone.
Chini.
Jump on him from up there. Kill the man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my girlfriend and I break up. We've been together 5 years, break up. Hey, I'm starting to fight with my family because even now they're like, hey, boss, Kwani, what are you doing with your life? You're an adult now. You're not
You're not a kid anymore.
Teenager. Yeah. Everything was crumbling. And I remember, so I sat down with my boys and I told them everything because I was hiding and I disappeared from people. For a long time, people didn't see me. But I went and just let her rip and told guys everything that was happening. And one of my boys said, listen, I know it's difficult, but there's only one thing you can do is just keep trying. And we sat down and we had a strategy. And my strategy was like, you see these free gigs, they got me somewhere. They built my name initially and it worked. I'm going to do them. Bro, I did free gigs that year. 2021, I did them. Nilikuwa circuit, bro. People thought I was making chums because me I was making sure I dress well. On
You're
stage, I'm looking the part. But at home, as we are living with my band, we are stragglers, bro. Me ask one of my boys even got stolen or everything in his bag, laptop, nini, because we don't have money to go home we don't have fare.
Yeah.
So he was stolen from Intao. So we did, like, bro, we did every kind of gig. Even those gigs that come that are in dingy places, or like, let's go there. There's a fan or two will earn there. So what that did is, that 2021, people saw us gigging a lot. And you see, the thing is, it's all about perception. Yeah. So me, I'm doing it for free, but the people who are watching don't know that I'm doing it for free. So Oktoberfest comes. And
Oktoberfest 2021.
2021. And they're like, oh, Charisma, hi, you want to book you? And they give me a budget. I'm like, oh, yeah. We're in business once more, it seems. And I go there and I kill the show. And now, because Oktoberfest is a massive stage now, more people are starting to see me.
Oktoberfest budget ilifika ile budget ya nini?
Yeah, 1 million. Oh no.
But it was substantial.
Bro, sikuwa nalipwa.
Yeah.
Yeah, kidogo. It was like, I think it was like 150K. And that was great for me at that point. Yeah, that was great for me. In fact, I think it was the first time I was being paid like
as a solo artist.
Yeah, as a solo artist, a proper man. Because what had happened, like those free gigs were doing, so we started doing the regular gigs you'd find at some locations, just Nairobi Zote Face, where they say they're going to pay you 2 hours to perform with a band 60K. And it's not good money because you pay the band and you still have to hire your own equipment. So unabaki na ka 5K ama 10K kwa mfuko. So this was a lot. And I started just getting gigs here and there. And they're not paying me a lot, but it's like even that 50K that I didn't have, all of a sudden home I can go with 30K as profit. I'm like, okay. Now I'm saving money. I'm able to go to the studio. I'm able to record videos, music videos. And now it starts to look better. And I think the thing is also because of how much of a rock bottom I was in. I felt like nothing could put me down again. I was like
it's
kama
fine.
hiyo imesha happen,
It's
hakuna
fine.
kitu ingine
The only way
that
is up.
happens idea hiyo.
Yeah.
So we just started moving and just putting in the work. And I sacrificed a lot. I'm gonna be honest, I sacrificed a lot. Sometimes people would hear the amount I'm doing shows for and they're like, Charisma unajiangusha. But I'm like, who do you think is gonna book me if I don't do these gigs? No one is waiting to just give me an opportunity. I have to kick those doors open, you know. And that's what I did with the band, and it worked. And I told a lot of guys, and I love that people right now see those things, yeah. And you know, so right now I meet people and they're like, wait, Charisma kona bahati ulitoa ngoma moja ikaenda. Like, Jesus Christ. I've been here for 10 years, bro.
Yeah.
I've been a musician a whole 10 years.
A whole decade.
Recording music, releasing videos. But
Yeah.
but it was very humbling.
Okay.
But it really, and it's something that's also really grounded me, and it's made me value money and just what I do so much more.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me how you come up with. I want to say I believe it was the first Luya hit experience, the one that you sold out. You sold out. I can't remember what the venue what venue it was, but this must have been 2022.
Yes.
Around April.
Yes.
And
When was it? It was a winning post. Was it 2021 or 2022? 2022. It was winning
April.
post still.
Yeah.
So, man, it's such a full circle moment because I did the Charisma Live this edition at the same location, just it's a different.
This one you've done the other day.
Yes, the other day. So the first one,
yes.
The thing was, I'm those people who just get tired of waiting for opportunities. I was like, no, I'm gonna show people who I am. I'm just gonna do it. If it fails, we try again. If it goes, it helped us, you know. So I didn't have any money. I just made a poster and said I have a show. And believed people would buy tickets. And people bought tickets. Now, the thing about me is I'm those people who like to make an impression. So what I did is I didn't try to make a profit. Every single shilling I got, I put it into production. Because for me, it was, I built this event for me, and up to now, has always been about building me long term. So
It's more of a brand building event than a profit making
exactly
event. Yeah.
because I can make that profit and make that time it wasn't a lot of money. I'd have made like 100K, but after nobody remembers the show. So I remember we did crazy deco for the event. The stage was insane. No one at my level was doing anything of
And
that
investing
sort.
that
Even
kind
people
of money.
above me were like, I remember in the musician groups, big artists are like, hey, umeduaje stuff. So we do the gig and it was full. Like there was a lot of people in front of me, and I'm like, Yanni, all these people came to see me. Yeah, Yanni's small charisma has been, you know. And events, and I think even Oktoberfest, that was one of the things. They were like, if this guy can pull on his own, yes, we don't know his music, but if he can pull people on his own like this, means there's value in him.
Yeah.
And so that just became a thing I do yearly. So there was Charisma Live 2, which was last year. On my birthday, we sold out the whole of Alchemist. And that event was so packed, we had to stop selling tickets. So we had to stop selling tickets at the gate because it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And we were like, let's do a bigger venue this year. So Patricia here,
Your manager.
my manager, she's like, because you know now you're big, we need to look for a location for like above 1,500. I'm like, what do you mean 1,500 what? Shillings, people. And I refused. I refused completely. But then, those ones for the team and me, I was like, there's no way we can get all these people. Just me alone. If we have other artists performing, I get it. But just me. And they forced me, and I'm like, okay. I yielded. And I yielded like Shingo Pande kabisa. I wasn't for it. We released the tickets for this show. Alibad tickets. 4 hours, there were no Alibad tickets.
How many Alibad tickets
We had
did you
put
accredit?
300 tickets
300.
for Alibad on sale. For a G. All of them gone.
In 4 hours.
Yes. Do you know when I was announcing they were sold out, even I was thinking maybe these people have confused. There's another event that was selling tickets, can't be mine. Tell them, can you confirm that this is my event?
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, the tickets are done. And we announced it's done. And people are those ones they want to ask. You know how Kenyans are like, it's a gimmick.
Yeah, a trade
It's
gimmick.
a come to tena, alafu ndo tununue. And bro, they never came back. We go to advance.
Yeah.
My guy, those tickets sold. Like us guys, so our plan, we released the poster on 16th or something, 17th of August. Our goal was hopefully we can sell out the Alibad tickets by end of August. They were sold out in 4 hours. By the end of August, we were nearly done with half the rest of the tickets. Because we were meant to have gate tickets at the event. But now the event was the event, the place, the location has capacity.
A capacity, yeah.
You know, bruh, 2 days to the event, we have no tickets.
Everything
The
is
event is completely sold out. Now people are starting to even call the work line. So they're calling Patricia, they're emailing, can you just open for a few? People are tweeting me. I'm like, guys, you all think, people think Kenyans, so, and it's a gimmick that's been used. People say it's sold out and then they open for a few that you sell. But us guys were properly sold out. And we had so many emails and people were looking for us, just asking, can I buy a ticket? There's someone I saw selling a ticket for my gig for 50, that he bought for 1,500 online for 5K. But I was like, take mine. Come buy from me.
Yeah.
Patricia, give me 10 tickets I sell to these people for 5K. Yeah, but it was... So that thing has just grown and grown.
Yeah.
And even with this sold out gig, I'll tell you here, and a lot of people will not believe it, we did not make money. I did not go home with profits. Not because we didn't make money.
Yeah.
We made chums.
Yeah.
But we invested our chums in production, and that's why that production was insane. People saw pyro and smoke and the CO2 emitters everywhere. And guys are like, damn, how did these guys do this thing?
Yeah.
Because for us, what that event is about, it's about showing people the value, what we are.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's very difficult to ask for those kind of things from others.
Yeah.
So
especially if you don't do
you don't do it. So the analogy I always tell my team is, awezi kuwa mse unakunywanga konyagi alafu ukifika kwa club unasema upewe Don Julio. I can't have seen you drink konyagi every day and then we sit at the club, you're like, no, I only drink Don Julio. No, you get your own Don Julio, and then people see, hey, this guy is a Don Julio guy, we have to get him done. Yeah. So that's what it was. So now everybody knows the standard.
Okay, so I want to ask you a question around that, and I want to ask you a question around I guess the charisma experience that you've been doing, and that brand building and its impact on for you financially.
Yes.
Yeah. From year 1, what was the impact? Year 2, year 3, have you seen any impact so far?
So definitely. So the one thing we've seen is, of course, when you're able to do your own thing in an industry where we rely on being booked and stuff like that, it kind of makes people believe in what you're doing, and your ROI is clear to see. It's not like Techno came and I was what's it called, curtain raiser. Everybody assumes that the audience is there for who? For Adekunle Gold, for BN. But you see, when I do it on my own, it's Charisma Live. Yeah. People realize, bro, this is his ROI. These are his people. This 1,700, the sold out tickets, these are his. So it's made a lot of event organizers know, when I book Charisma, I know I'll have an audience. Yeah. People will come. Yeah. So of course that's affected our bookings, especially every time after Charisma Live, our bookings go like this, like, and what we charge before Charisma Live is never the same as after. It's just something that's happened every Charisma Live since 2021. Like every time it's changed, which is incredible. And you see, I tell guys, so for most people, and I know there's a lot of people who will hear, man, I could have made profits, but I decided to put everything in the show. It might not make sense for everyone, but for me, the thing has always been, listen, so I didn't make money, but the long-term effect of what the money did for us, you can't buy that. Yeah. You can't buy that anywhere. Yeah. And I think that's the most important thing for me. Like, and it's something I learned early on. Short-term gain is not, will never supersede long-term gain. Will never. So we always think, so of course this just, you have to think short-term at points, but we always think, what are we doing for our brand long-term? Okay. So I think Charisma Live just as a concept is the thing. I think there's nothing that's grown my brand like me doing my things on my own. Because listen, when you've not made hit songs, you're not like a BN or a South Soul or a Calligraph who's channeled hit songs every time. there's not much to show that you can pull a crowd because you probably don't have those numbers online. So me showing those numbers physically is what has gotten me where I am.
Okay.
You know.
So right now, as a modern musician,
Yes.
Actually, no, an interesting question. How much do you think your contribution in the revolution
Helps.
contributed to
Of
this
course.
1,700 people who,
Of course,
showed
it does
up?
have a. Of course, it does have a.
Yeah, because you were very vocal.
Yeah,
you were
of course.
very.
Definitely does have an impact on how people, because there's goodwill you buy from people.
Yeah.
And I think it's just with art in general, when you're for the people, the people will always repay you. So the one thing I said is it brought an ear. So for those who probably didn't know me,
Now,
there was goodwill, yeah. So maybe there's someone who never knew me but saw me because of that, and they're like, okay, there's a charisma. And then there's someone who's like, I'll support charisma because of what is done. Now, the most important thing after that is,
Once
what
they're
do I
there.
do after? So they're there. How do I make sure this person doesn't just, next year it's like, yeah, I'm a charisma fan. It's giving them a proper experience.
Okay.
You know, so it really did help bring, because even the interactions on my socials, since it's like, bro, yeah.
videos remember change. Okay. A question, and this I'm not asking for, I guess, clickbaity thing,
Yeah.
but I'm asking if you're in a relationship, and the reason I'm asking is
Yeah.
because I can only imagine. Recently,
Yeah.
I was watching Di Maria's documentary on it's on
Oh,
Netflix.
yes.
Right? They've just released it.
It's
So he talks
beautiful,
about
yeah.
how when he was signed for Real Madrid, the minute he gets to Real Madrid, at the airport, he's with his at the time it was his girlfriend, and as they are walking in, a girl walks up to him, gives him in front of his girlfriend, who is clear it's his girlfriend, gives him a phone number.
Yeah.
And she's like, call me, and she walks away, and he says his girlfriend goes up to their room and she breaks down, and she's like, I can't do this, not because of this guy, but because I cannot
Is this
cope.
the lifestyle?
Yeah, like this is not a life. I don't want to be fighting women off and things like that. So I'm curious about that in your lifestyle, more specifically with bras being thrown at you on stage. And the potential impact that must have on a partner in a relationship.
Yeah, so I'm currently not in a relationship.
Yeah.
I've been in relationships while being a musician. I think the benefit I've had is I've been with people in the industry. So I don't think they don't feel it, but I think it's easier for them to understand that we're working. For example, I was with a person who is also very big in the acting space, and she was doing roles where she needed to do things that even me, I was just like, and even when we're in places, bro, people are just come and people love her and they think she's pretty and you know, but you understand, like for us, the thing is we knew how to separate the business from our personal stuff, So I think I've had that benefit. And the girl I was seeing before was a stylist also in the industry, and she understands the ins and outs of the industry. I can imagine if I was seeing someone who's green about this space, they'd be like, oh Lord, bras, I can't, you know. But you see, even for, like, I would imagine if I was with one of those girls who I've seen before, if bras are thrown at me, they would be so excited because for them it's like, damn, yeah, we in our work, when I'm love even, because they understand the business. She understands it's business. Like this is the business side of it, you know. And I think one thing I learned, first of all, I'll say I went through my period of wasting my time with two girls and all that. Na hiyo ikanitoka. But more than anything, it's just also affirmation. I think that's a very important thing when you're in a relationship and you're in this kind of space and those kind of things. Because listen, bra is one thing, but there's music videos where sometimes you do raunchy songs and girls are all over you. It's not a great thing to watch. Or imagine an actor, your girlfriend has a kissing scene with someone and they're touching each other and feels like, God damn it, and kulia. Like it's of it was you happen. But I think the affirmation part is very important. Just consistently and not being comfortable and thinking no anafaa kuelewa. It's just always telling them, okay, so this is work. And one thing I've done in my relationships is I was very, before I did anything, like even music videos, I'd explain everything that I'm planning to do and hear how they feel. I don't want them to police it, but I tell them, and like at least they know what is about to happen. Sometimes even I have them over for the video shoots, and they're comfortable because they see that it's just work. This is what's happening, but it's just work. You know? So that's really helped.
Okay, sawa. As we wrap up, I want to ask two final questions on money relations. One is, so are you able to give us an explanation of how Charisma, the music business, works? And how you make money in and of itself. Then how Charisma, the individual, handles his money and where you put your money at.
So the business side, I think, has progressed now. One thing I want to say and put out there is we're in a different space from when I was beginning as a musician. Now, there's more corporate backing in the entertainment industry. You see a lot of influencers posting paid partnerships. You see a lot of... I would have never thought Charisma Live would have had sponsors. I had 5 sponsors for my show, which is something, bro, we used to beg them to come to the event. So how we make money, the main way most artists in this country make money is shows. Streams are great, but streams make money. They make you money. But I've always believed streams make money, good money, when you're making Drake numbers. When you're doing Beyonce, Drake, Rihanna numbers. That's when...
What's the average Kenyan musician making on streams?
You see, the average is bad because you see, the average is not even me. You know, the average is... Like, I was checking Spotify stats. Man, the people who do more than 15,000 listens a month in this country, I don't think I'm more than 100. So, or maybe there it's just about there. So the average could be really bad in terms of streaming because there's very few artists. And I always say that people think the entertainment industry is an easy way out, bro. Very few musicians make it. I know you know so many people who sing, but how many have made it to, you know, perform in those stages or in the mainstream industry? So it's the average from streams is not crazy. So I'd say, okay, I could give you an estimate. So a song like Number One might have made, with all the hype it had, that song has 8 million views. Granted, we didn't have it. See, I took one streaming. I took streaming for about 4 years. I'm sure we would have made more money then, especially when it was out. But I think could have made around, via streaming only, around 500K or 600K. And that's a song that's 8 years old. So if you're gonna depend on streaming, you have to have a bunch of number ones and be very consistent with them.
Churning
like
them out.
They can't be once in a year. Have to be 4, 5 of them a year. Like, you know how Diamond just bang,
hit after hit.
You know, it has to be like that because guys like Diamond make those tunes now from
purely from streams. They make a lot of good money.
I've had rather. I know people on that kind of level. You hear like in a quarter, they make like 2 mic, 3 mic. But still, that's not ridiculous money. You know, if you're doing,
it's not like,
and you're doing. So a Diamond does a music video that's worth 2 million, Bob.
Yeah.
3
so
million,
you're making the money back from the music video.
So where the money is really is performance. So you do like a show. So I tell you my rate card is 500K. That's where my money is coming from. You know, that's where most people make their money. So what we do is, so of course I have a team. We pay the team. Rather, I pay the team and then I pay my band. And I pay everyone involved in just everything because the styling, there's a lot of things that come into play with that. So even sometimes, I tell guys, so sometimes when I send my quote, people say it as a big figure, but it really isn't because once we've paid everything, because you see that the problem with entertainment is a very visual thing. How you dress is important. How you look on stage, how everything looks is very important. So by the time we're finishing, the money is not as much as you thought it was. So the money that remains, we separate. There's money for the business, and of course, there's money for not Charisma, for Fidel.
Yes.
Because that's what Fidel is depending on. I'm very careful not to be greedy with that money and just want any penny or pesa. Because as I said, a realization from the band, this is the thing that's feeding me. So in order for it to keep making money, I have to keep putting money into it. So the bulk of the money really does go into the craft, the music videos, the studio, promotion, marketing, and those kinds of things. And then one thing about me is, okay, man, I love to enjoy life. But one thing about me is also I know how to...
like you said, you learned to be content.
To be content.
Very early on.
Very early on. So I'm paying my rent. I have food in my house. I have kidogo money for I can galavant here and there. That's all I need. So it's something we budget. And then I have people who hold me accountable. People like Patricia who just refuse to send me the money. Or change their account. You know? So it's a model that's worked and it's working right now. And the greatest thing for me, honestly, at this point in time, is that music is sustainable for me. That it's paying for itself. That I don't have to go work in a law firm and then bring money. You know, like my music is paying for itself. And as I said, there's things like partnerships now. That's an avenue that's become so important for creatives. Because back in the day, I'm twisted into doing a gig because
I don't have
money. I have to do the gig to make that money. Msana kama rate card yako ni 200k, sawa, nakupea 50k. You're like, man, that's too low, but I don't have rent. But now you work with a brand and they're paying you monthly to do those ads and paid partnerships. So like when someone comes and they're like, they're not paying you, you're like, it's fine. We're still eating this month. I'm not sleeping hungry. So it's become an avenue that's really opened doors in the minds of a lot of people. Juu ni ngumu sana kukata kitu kama uko njaa. Hawezi kata pesa na uko njaa. You can't pay your rent with your worth. No, it needs money, you know. So it's kind of even the playing field for creatives, artists.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are you looking? Because we know, I guess, you know, towards the end of the year, you know, it's big for the entertainment industry. So what are you looking to try and do towards the end of this year?
Of
and
course,
if you can give us an answer based on previous years, what's the biggest end year, you know, cash season that you've had?
I think last year. Yeah. Probably last year. Last year we did well. I can't give a definite amount, but we did a lot of shows and we made a lot of money. December nili-enjoy. December na January nili-enjoy karibu ni kuladi rent. Ushaikuwa na domingi unashindwa pesa haishi. So last year was good and this year is gonna be already with the shows we've booked. And it speaks to just the work we've put in and the efforts we've put in. So I'm gonna be doing, for example, blankets on the 6th of October. There's more, I can't say them now because they've not been announced, but there's other gigs we've booked that are gonna be paying as well. So of course and right now the difference between now and other years is we know our value more than before. So I think every time you grow, that
you understand a couple of things better.
Now we're saying no to a lot of things. We're saying no to a lot of things. When they don't reach the rate card, we're like, no, it's fine. We don't have to.
Are you able to tell us your rate card value?
No? Mkubwa
amesema bana ni sawa.
Sio mbaya. Watu wanaweza email
to find out.
Email pate post.
Okay. So what would be success for you financially, looking through the future? Like what is success for you?
Success for me would be being comfortable. Like I want to ultimately live a life where I'm not in debt. I don't have to borrow. I don't have to put a pay bill online. Like I'm able to do everything for myself for the rest of my life and be comfortable. Take my kids to the schools they want to go to. Treat my wife when she wants to be treated. Like just be able to provide for my family consistently. And I've always said like I love, everybody loves money, but I've never been big on being I want to be a billionaire with G-Word. I always just say if I'm comfortable, like if my life can run smoothly, so of course there's dreams I have. I want to build my own house. I want to have certain cars, but once I have that, I just want to have a comfortable life. Like everything anyone wants in my household, they can get. Doesn't have to be ridiculous, but they can get whatever they need. And that for me will be fulfilling. And for like in terms of my music career, to just feel Bukungu Stadium in Kakamega. Wacha niwaambie nataka kukuwe na migration kutoka Nairobi. People are booking because for me it's just also if I'm able to also impact that economy for my hometown. B&Bs are booked, people are spending money on the food there. You've changed people's lives. Like I want to do those kind of things. Like of course I want to do O2 Arena and those things. But the dream has to start at home. If I can do a Bukungu Stadium and everyone from Nairobi is coming and they've come to see Charisma live in 2026. Bukungu Stadium, 30,000 strong. Hey!
That's
Brazi kweni tautatu. You know? That's the goal. Like I'm a very simple person in the things that give me joy and give me happiness. And I think it's one of the things that's helped me grow so much in my work, because I'm able to figure myself and to grow my craft and my business, because my music is my business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me finally end with a question I've asked a lot of people here. Do you think you've made, with the career choice that you've gone, that you've taken, the path you've gone down, do you think you've made the most money, as at this point in your life, do you think you've made the most money you potentially could have in your life?
No, I don't think so. I think we could get there at some point. Maybe this is the point. That's like a launch pad, because things have become like it's bei jana si ya leo. When I get, however, I've had a lot of years, as I've said, I had a lot of years of free gigs, and gigs that didn't pay me well. So I think not yet. Even if you asked me, do I think I've made more money than I would have made being a lawyer? No. Yeah, I don't think so. But I'm content with the decision I made. I have no regrets. I think this thing is gonna pay me back tenfold. I think it's gonna take me to places, because already the places, bro, I would have never thought I would go to Malaysia. I would do a 10-day trip into Malaysia for my birthday on my own. Like at music imelipia your stuff, you know. So I think it's gonna do it for me. I'm not there yet. It's not put me there yet, but yeah, for sure I believe the next time I come, hopefully.
Yeah.
So
we'll be having another discussion.
Soon. Nipe time. Allow me to work.
allow you to work.
I'll come in 3 months. It's still the same.
We're still the same place. Actually, last thing. Yeah. Do you have money in other places, or do you consider music your investment?
Yeah. So, I think for now,
yeah,
just because of how the financial situation is, I think my main investment is music.
Is in the music.
But I'm okay. So yeah, I might have money in land actually. Yeah. So yeah. They got the money in other places. Yay! Charisma. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm those traditional people who believe in land.
Yeah.
And assets. I really like that type of thing. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Kazima, thank you so much for coming on to Financially Incorrect.
Thank you, man.
We have enjoyed this show. I've learned a thing or two, understood a thing or two about brand building in the music space. I hope this will be... Actually, if it's not useful for you in the music industry, then that's your own problem. Yeah.
How you already? You made it.
Oh, you made it.
Yeah, Ben, don't watch.
One of the two. But thank you so much for coming, and we will see you guys on the next episode of Financially Incorrect next Friday.
Yeah, man.